Allow me to greet you and thank you for tuning in. Thank you for listening to what I have to say today. I hope and believe, Uguti, thus far, everything that I'm posting here, it makes sense to you, and that it helps you to grow. It helps you to see life from a different perspective, because I believe, Uguti, in Bilo, it's about change. I wrote something very powerful, Uguti. A normal person sees change as a habit, not as a need. I understand ukuthi change, it's not something that we must see as a need, but it is something that must become a habit. It must be a habit. We must create a culture yokuthi change is a habit. In other words, in our everyday life, we experience change. So the more we embrace the change as a habit, the more we are going to enjoy life, because change is a habit. It's not just a need, but it's something that must be part of who we are. The moment we stop seeing changes, we should get worried. So I believe and strongly think and hope and trust ukuthi these things, they are changing your life at some point, and I hope ukuthi one of the good days we will meet and talk ngokuthi zikusize kanjani. So today I want to speak about one thing esi-ignorayo also esikhathini esiningi, and it affects most of us. I want to speak about the fact ukuthi life is a process. Understand? Impilo yi-process bafethu. Impilo yi-process. I see instant impilo. You understand? Impilo ayiveli iyenzeke ngelanga eliyi-one. Akuveli izinto zihlangane ngelanga eliyi-one, and the things don't just happen. Life is a process. So we need to understand ukuthi izinto la emhlabeni, they don't happen out of the blue. We understand that they don't happen out of the blue. We don't wake up and discover okay, this is what has happened nje out of the blue. Asazi ukuthi kwenzeke kanjani, asazi ukuthi how did we reach this point. But now we need to get ukuthi everything that happens kulo mhlaba is a process. It is a process. It has a starting point. It also has an end point. You understand? And also kulama points now, there is a middle point whereby this process takes place. So you need to understand that one. Life is a process. Things don't just happen. They have to start somewhere. They have to end somewhere. There has to be the middle part whereby izinto ezenzakala ngakhona. And then you need to also check ukuthi unless you understand this process here, life, you will never succeed in anything. We understand? So most of the people, if we can check very well, ukuthi they fail to understand this process, and then eventually what happens, ukuthi failure to understand this process also leads to failure in their lives. So this process of life, it leads us again, if we fail to understand it, eventually we are introduced to hardships, we are introduced to problems, we are introduced to despair, discouragement. So I'm here to help abantu who must understand this process ebizwa ngempilo. And then another thing, we need to check ukuthi unless we live and understand sibe kwi pace A1 nale process eyimpilo, ziningi izinto engeke ihlangane empilweni zethu. So ngifuna siyicheck lento leyo, and then for someone who doesn't understand this, you need to understand ukuthi today we are with abantu who are depressed. We are with abantu abahlangahlangene. Some they've got regrets. Some they see life as something so difficult simply because they don't understand ukuthi impilo le, it is a process. So ngifuna sithathe this session as a learning curve ukuthi if I failed to understand ukuthi life is a process, how can I rectify that misunderstanding, or how can I rectify that mistake? We understand now. Understanding the process of life, the first thing engifuna siyicheck ukuthi life, it has times and seasons. Yabona masiza la emhlabeni sithola ukuthi masifika, we don't bring along times, we don't bring along seasons, and when we die, we don't take times and seasons with us. Life inama seasons, inesikhathi. Mawungena la emhlabeni, you will find ukuthi there is a time to laugh, there is a time to cry, there is a time to prosper, bese kuba khona isikhathi sokululeka. Kunama seasons amnandi, kunama seasons angekho mnandi, kunama seasons lapho izinto zihamba kahle khona, kunama seasons la izinto zingahambi kahle khona. This is life. Mawufika awuzanga nazo from birth, uzitholela emhlabeni lezo zinto. So you need to understand ukuthi this is life. It has times, it has seasons. You must understand that one, because if you don't understand that one, you will blame yourself nangezinto ekungasi fault yakho. You will blame yourself nangezinto oyitholela emhlabeni. Bese another thing we need to check ukuthi in this process of life we have dreams, we have our desires. You need to understand ukuthi mawuzophila ula emhlabeni ayoba khona amaphupho, ziyoba khona izinto oyifisayo. And the problem ukuthi abantu abaningi, they end up being tormented by their own dreams and desires, thinking ukuthi mara man, why is this happening to me? Yes, good, it sounds crazy, but there are people who are being tormented by their own dreams. There are people who are being tormented by their own desires. They think ukuthi, no, this is just impossible. Why is it happening to me? Why should I have such a dream? Why should I have such a desire? It's so impossible. No. It is part of the process. You were not meant to be tormented by that, but because life is a process, uzoba nawo ama dreams, uzoba nawo ama desires. That is who you are. That is part of your nature. That is part of what you desire. That is part of what you dream of. Ngiyazi ukuthi velele isounda ngenye indlela, but I'm telling you, we do have such people today who are being tormented by their own dreams and desires, but they fail to understand that it is part of being alive. Akunamuntu ongana dream, akunamuntu ongana desire. Even the people who think ukuthi abanazo lezo zinto banazo at some point, because they went through izinto different and feel ukuthi no, life is not worth living anymore. But believe me, each and every person une dream, une desire. Akekho umuntu ozothi yena akanako lokho. At some point unako. Nanoma ungakignora or nanoma kungafihlwa izimo, but each and every person has a dream and a desire. Another thing we need to check ukuthi this process of life inama good and bad events. Yabona, as much as we desire ukuthi ngabe kwenzakala only the good things in our lives, we need to understand ukuthi kulo mhlaba also bad events will happen in our lives. Things we don't desire ukuthi zenzakale zizoyenzeka. I mentioned something ukuthi kunama bad events esizifake kuwo, but besingathi siyazifaka kuwo, but siyifakile kuwo. So you need to have an understanding ukuthi it is also part of the package. I process yempilo ukuthi kube khona izinto ezinhle nezimbi as part of impilo zethu. Bese another thing we need to check about this process yempilo ukuthi there is progress noku digress kuba khona. You understand ukuthi as a person from the day you were born until the day you die, you will never progress kuphela. There is a season whereby you will digress. There is a season whereby instead of ukuthi ngabe we are progress uyibona ubuyele emuva. It is part of being alive. It's not a train smash bafethu. It's not a sin. You understand? Yes, some of lack of progress may be caused by sin, but it is not a sin ukuthi ungaboni progress at times. Not all the times. Akekho umuntu owazala waze washona ngabona ngeprogress empilweni yakhe. So we need to check that one as well ukuthi there is a season ye progress, kuba ne season yokuthi udigress. That's part of life. Bese another thing we need to check ngeprocess yempilo ukuthi we will always have rich and poor people. And the reason why I mention this, it is because the way abantu abarich baphila ngakhona and the way poor people live akufani. We understand nama concept nama theories nama philosophies wala abantu awafani. So we need to check ukuthi esikhathini esiningi ungatholi ukuthi uyihlukumeza uphila kwenye impilo simply because you saw somebody else doing it and you feel ukuthi that is life. No. We need to understand ukuthi ukuba rich or ukuba poor, it's not something compulsory. It's a choice. You don't have to be rich, you don't have to be poor. It's your own choice ukuthi wena ufuna ukuba njani kulo mhlaba. So it's part of the process. Some people make decisions to be rich and some make decisions to stay poor. So you need to get that ukuthi it is a process of impilo. Akusinto ezenzekela automatically. You don't become rich automatically, you don't become poor automatically. It's a choice. It is a decision. It is part of life. It's a process. Bese another thing we have to check ukuthi kwile process yempilo yempilo kunokuba objective kunokuba subjective. There are people who are living life according to the way they see it, you understand, according to the way they feel it, according to the way they conclude about it, then bathathe this life by phile kanja. So you need to understand that in this process of life kunomhlaba objective. It's a life of facts. It's a life that is outside your perception, you understand. Kunempilo beyond your perception, a life that you don't see with your senses. Ekumele uhlale phansi uyicabanga ukuthi mara no, this life engakwazi ukuyifila ngama-senses wami ime kanjani. Bese another thing we have to check about this process of life, ukuthi life in a development, you understand. Masizalwa emhlabeni besingasinganga, and then we had to be young, singakwazi ukukhuluma, singakwazi ukuhamba, singaboni, singezwa, but along the way there was development, we understand. Azange kwaba yinto eyenzeka ngelanga eli-1, it took time. So we need to grab a hold of that ukuthi it was a process. So there is a development stage, izinto azenzeki automatically, that is part of into le i-process yempilo. So now I want ukuthi sikhulume ngokuthi how do we balance this process yempilo, because most of the people, they are tormented ngenxa yokuthi they are failing to balance this process of life. The first thing I have mentioned ukuthi you must embrace the setup, you understand. Embrace this setup yale process yempilo. Life I see personal bafethu. Every event that takes place in your life, you shouldn't receive it as something that is personal. It is part of life. It is part of i-package yempilo, you know, because ezinye izinto mawuyithatha too personal empilweni, you will torment yourself. There are people today who are failing to progress because of the negative events that took place in their life. They take everything personal. This is life bafethu. It is not personal. You are not the first person mhlambe ojikelwayo. You are not the first person oshonelayo. You are not the first person mhlambe who is not rich. You are not the first person who did not mhlambe go to school and stuff like that. This is life. It is not personal. So the moment you realize ukuthi no man le I see personal impilo iyenzeka vele emhlabeni, what happens ukuthi you begin to do into yesibili, you avoid to shift the responsibility. Awusese umuntu shift ama responsibility. You take your life ukuthi no, this is my life, it is my responsibility. You don't shift your joy to somebody else, you don't shift your peace to somebody else. You take ukuthi no, this is my life and it is my responsibility. So the first thing ukuthi you must embrace the setup, ungayithathi personal impilo. The second thing, you must not shift ama responsibility. You must avoid that. You are responsible for your life. That's another thing that you have to check ukuthi you must commit yourself to make this world a better place. We understand. La emhlabeni you can either be a solution or you can be part of the problem. By that I simply mean ukuthi la emhlabeni sineyinkinga ezidinga ama solutions. So you have to choose ukuthi whether you want to be part of the solution or you want to be part of the problem. So you must commit yourself ukuthi you want to be part of the solution. Ungafuna ukueda einkingeni zala emhlabeni, but say ukuthi kule inkinga zala emhlabeni ngifuna ukuthi mangishona kube ezinye ngihambe nazo through the solutions that I brought kulo mhlaba. So another thing that we have to check ukuthi you must just commit yourself to make this world a better place. Bese another thing that we have to check ekutheni how do we balance this process of life, ukuthi you must not let your confusion be your conclusion. Ungavuma ukuthi confusion yakho ibe yi-conclusion yakho. Ungavuma ukuthi lezi zinto eziconfusayo emhlabeni zakhe impilo yakho. You must look for clarity. Whenever you are confused, you must just look for clarity. Don't say no, I am confused, and because of that confusion so wakha your own philosophy, so wakha your own theories. No. Learn ukuthi whenever you are confused, you sit down, you search for the truth, you search for reality. Yonke into ibe crystallized, ibe clear. Ungakhi izinto out of a confusion. But the last thing ukuthi you must never give up, after you understand. Kule process here life, there are so many times whereby we will be tempted to give up, to throw in the towel. But that's the thing, you shouldn't allow that temptation to take place over your life. You shouldn't yield to that temptation. You must tell yourself, I am not going to give up. Even if I'm going through a process and I don't understand this in the but still I will not give up. Because impilo is a process, you need to learn, study the rhythm of life. Okay, makwenzeka so, how should I respond? You know, there is nothing new under the sun. Everything that we are going through, somebody else uke wandlula kuyo. There are answers to your questions. There is clarity to that confusion, to that misunderstanding, to that heaviness. Everything is not new. So if you give up, you are saying good, you don't have answers. Okay, cool. But then answers are corner out there. Somebody has been there and somebody can answer to that situation. So regardless of whatever that you are going through, understand ukuthi life is a process. And I say it may not happen in one day, but one day it will happen. Stay blessed, Bafethu Nyantanda. Keep on listening, and may you encourage others to also subscribe to the YouTube channel Katsebo Ditseho. I believe and I trust God will help you strengthen your life and improve in every way. Stay blessed and continue to make this world a better place.